Hello everyone, and welcome back to US Visa Path. If you've been scrolling through social media lately, you've probably seen the headlines. Travel ban, executive orders, chaos at the border. And if you're a green card holder, or if someone you love has a green card, you might be asking yourself, am I still safe? Can they really take my green card away? Should I be worried about traveling? I know that fear. I know that anxiety. And I want you to take a breath, because today, we're going to walk through this together, step by step, with facts, not fear. My name is Joe, and this is US Visa Path, where we bring you immigration news without the panic, without the rumors, and without the politics. Just the truth, just what you need to know. So let's talk about what's actually happening right now with travel bans in 2026, and more importantly, let's talk about where green card holders stand in all of this. First, let's be very clear about something. The term travel ban gets thrown around a lot, and it creates immediate panic. But not all travel bans are the same. Some target specific countries. Some target specific visa categories. Some are temporary. Some are permanent. And some, frankly, don't affect green card holders at all. So what are we actually talking about when we say travel ban in 2026? Right now, there are discussions, proposals, and in some cases executive actions related to immigration enforcement, border security, and visa processing. Some of these measures do involve restrictions on entry into the United States. But here's the critical part. Most of these restrictions apply to people trying to enter the country for the first time, or people on temporary visas, not to lawful permanent residents. A green card holder is not the same as someone applying for a tourist visa. A green card holder is not the same as someone waiting for an employment-based approval. A green card holder has already been vetted. A green card holder has already been granted lawful permanent residence in the United States. That status comes with legal protections that are significantly stronger than almost any other immigration category. Now, does that mean green card holders are completely untouchable under any circumstance? No. Let's be honest about that. But it does mean that the rules that apply to green card holders are different, and the protections are much, much stronger. Let me explain how this actually works. When you receive a green card, you are granted lawful permanent resident status. That's not just a piece of plastic. It's a legal classification recognized under U.S. immigration law. It means you have the right to live and work permanently in the United States. It means you can travel in and out of the country, as long as you meet certain conditions. And it means that the government cannot simply revoke your status without due process. Due process. That's a term you're going to hear a lot when we talk about green card protections. Due process means that the government cannot take away your rights arbitrarily. If the government wants to remove your green card, they have to prove that you violated immigration law, and they have to do it in front of an immigration judge. You have the right to a hearing. You have the right to present evidence. You have the right to legal representation. This is completely different from someone who is trying to enter the United States on a visa. If you're outside the United States and you don't have a green card, the government has much broader authority to deny you entry. They can change visa policies. They can suspend visa processing. They can issue travel bans that prevent nationals of certain countries from entering. And while those actions can be challenged in court, the legal standard is different. But if you're already a green card holder, and you're already inside the United States, or you're returning from a trip abroad, the legal framework is fundamentally different. So let's address the most common fears I'm seeing right now. Fear number 1. Can they cancel my green card just because of a travel ban? No. A travel ban that targets nationals of a specific country does not automatically cancel your green card. Even if your home country is on a restricted list, your green card remains valid. You are a lawful permanent resident of the United States. Your status is not tied to your nationality in the same way a visa is. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be extra scrutiny. It doesn't mean you won't face additional questions at the airport. But it does mean that your green card itself is not invalidated simply because a travel ban is announced. There have been instances in the past, including during previous administrations, where green card holders from certain countries were temporarily delayed or questioned more thoroughly at ports of entry. That was stressful. It was frustrating. But in the vast majority of cases, those green card holders were allowed to enter the United States, because their legal status gave them the right to do so. Fear number 2. If I leave the United States right now, will I be able to come back? This is a very real concern, and I understand why people are asking it. The answer depends on a few things. If you are a green card holder and you leave the United States for a short trip, let's say a few weeks or a few months, and you have not abandoned your residence, and you have not committed any crimes or immigration violations, then yes, you should be able to return. Your green card is your ticket back in. However, if you leave the United States for an extended period, let's say 6 months or more, you may face questions about whether you abandoned your permanent residence. This is not new. This is not because of a travel ban. This has always been the rule. Green card holders are expected to maintain their primary residence in the United States. If you're gone for too long, immigration officers may ask you to prove that you did not intend to abandon your status. So if you're planning to travel, especially for an extended period, you may want to apply for a re-entry permit before you leave. A re-entry permit allows you to stay outside the United States for up to 2 years without being questioned about abandonment of residence. You apply for it while you're still in the United States, and it's issued by USCIS. Now, if there is a new travel ban announced, and your country is on that list, should you avoid traveling? That's a personal decision, and it depends on your specific situation. If you need to travel for an emergency, for family reasons, for work, then you need to weigh the risks. But understand that as a green card holder, you have legal rights that visa holders do not have. You have the right to return to the United States. That right can be challenged, but it cannot be taken away without due process. If you're unsure, if you're worried, if your country is on a restricted list and you're planning to travel, then I strongly recommend you consult with an immigration attorney before you go. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you want to be prepared for any questions or delays you might face at the border. Fear number 3. Can they deport me even though I have a green card? Let's be very clear. Yes, green card holders can be deported, but not arbitrarily and not without cause. Deportation, or removal, is a legal process. It happens through immigration court, and it only happens if you violate certain immigration or criminal laws. For example, if you commit certain crimes, especially serious crimes like drug trafficking, murder, fraud, or certain theft offenses, you can be placed in removal proceedings. If you lie to immigration officials, if you commit immigration fraud, if you help someone enter the country illegally, these are also grounds for removal. But simply being from a country that's on a travel ban list is not grounds for deportation. Simply being a green card holder during a time of political tension is not grounds for deportation. If the government wants to remove you, they have to charge you with a removable offense. They have to bring you before an immigration judge. You have the right to defend yourself. You have the right to hire a lawyer. You have the right to appeal. This is what due process looks like, and this is why green card holders are not in the same category as people who are simply trying to enter the United States for the first time. Now, I want to address something else that I've been seeing a lot online. There are rumors circulating that the government is planning to revoke green cards en masse, or that green card holders will be rounded up and detained. I want to be very clear. There is no credible evidence of this happening. There is no legal mechanism that allows the government to simply cancel green cards without individual hearings and without cause. Could policies change? Could enforcement priorities shift? Yes. Immigration policy is always evolving. But the fundamental legal protections that green card holders have are enshrined in law, and those laws cannot be changed overnight by executive order alone. Changes to immigration law require Congress. And even when Congress does act, existing green card holders are often grandfathered in or given transition periods. So where does that leave us? If you are a green card holder right now, in 2026, here's what you need to know. 1. Your green card is still valid. A travel ban targeting visa applicants or nationals of certain countries does not automatically invalidate your lawful permanent resident status. 2. You have the right to live and work in the United States. That right is protected by law and cannot be taken away without due process. 3. You have the right to travel in and out of the United States, as long as you maintain your primary residence here and do not abandon your status. 4. If you are outside the United States and you are returning, you may face additional questions or delays, especially if your country is on a restricted list, but you have the legal right to re-enter as a lawful permanent resident. 5. If you are planning to travel, especially for an extended period, consider applying for a re-entry permit, and if you have any concerns, consult with an immigration attorney. 6. If you are charged with a removable offense, you have the right to a hearing, the right to legal representation, and the right to appeal. You are not subject to summary removal without due process. Now, what should you actually do right now? First, stay informed. Don't rely on social media for immigration news. Don't trust headlines that are designed to create panic. Go to official sources. Check uscis.gov. Check the State Department website. Check CBP for updates on entry requirements. If there is a new policy, if there is a new executive order, if there is a new travel restriction, it will be published on these official sites. Second, if you have upcoming travel plans, review them carefully. If you're planning to be outside the United States for more than 6 months, apply for a re-entry permit. If your country is on a restricted list and you're not sure how that might affect your re-entry, speak to an immigration attorney before you leave. Third, make sure your green card is not expired. If your green card is expiring soon, file for a renewal now. Don't wait. An expired green card can create unnecessary complications, even though your status as a lawful permanent resident does not expire. Fourth, keep copies of all your immigration documents. Keep your passport. Keep your green card. Keep any approval notices, any re-entry permits, any evidence of your ties to the United States. If you're questioned at the border, having documentation makes the process smoother. Fifth, if you're eligible for naturalization, consider applying for U.S. citizenship. Once you become a U.S. citizen, you are no longer subject to immigration enforcement in the same way. You cannot be deported. You cannot have your status revoked. You have the full protection of U.S. citizenship. Naturalization is not the right choice for everyone, but if you've been a green card holder for 5 years, or 3 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen, and you meet the other requirements, it's worth considering. And finally, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling uncertain, if you're not sure what to do, reach out to a qualified immigration attorney, not a notario, not someone who promises you easy answers. A licensed immigration attorney who can review your specific case and give you advice based on your situation. Immigration rules are complex. They change, they evolve, but they don't change overnight, and they don't change without process. The legal protections that green card holders have are real, they are enforceable, and they are not going away just because of a headline. I know this is a stressful time. I know that every news alert, every executive order, every rumor on social media can feel like a threat. But I want you to remember something. You are not alone. You have rights. You have protections. And you have a community of people who are going through the same thing. That's why this channel exists. That's why we're here. To cut through the noise, to give you facts, to help you make informed decisions. So here's what I want you to do. If this video helped you, if it gave you clarity, if it made you feel a little less afraid, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Share this video with someone who might be worried, someone who might be feeling the same fear you were feeling before you watched this, and leave your questions in the comments. I read every single one. And if there's a topic you want me to cover, if there's a rumor you want me to fact check, let me know. Immigration news doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be confusing, and it definitely doesn't have to be full of panic and misinformation. Stay informed, stay calm, and stay connected. This is Joe from US Visa Path, and I'll see you in the next video.